All right, so we're back here once again on another episode of Couch Coach Live. Once again here Wednesday night under the lights on the couch here on Couch Coach Live. What's going on, Maui?
Oh man, chilling another week, playoffs. You know what I mean? You know I'm excited.
Yeah, man. And it's funny this week. It's really gonna be NBA centric. We pretty much got the NFL out the way for maybe a few more weeks unless something crazy happens as far as newsworthy. So,
Right.
it's pretty much the basketball portion of the Couch Coach Live year in a sense. So we're here. So we'll recap the Lakers win in San Francisco last night. Chris Paul out for the next possibly 3 games. Joel Embiid is the new league MVP. Shout out to him. Dillon Brooks pretty much out of there in Memphis. And we'll also talk about our final thoughts game ball. And we'll talk a little NFL draft as well. So what we'll do, we'll be right back on Couch Coach Live. We'll be right back. All right, so we're back here once again on Couch Coach Live. We're brought to you by the good folks at Goalie. Head over to goalie.com. Use the promo code CouchCoach. Get yourself 10% off at checkout. So as we mentioned a little earlier, the Los Angeles Lakers went into San Francisco and got a nice win last night over the Golden State Warriors to take a 1-0 lead in the playoffs. In their series. So Maui, your thoughts on first, let me set up the play. So obviously the Lakers won that game 117-112. AD 30 and 23 rebounds, LeBron 22, D'Angelo Russell solid 19, and Schroeder with 19. Man, your thoughts on this this impressive road victory?
I don't want to sound weird, but I looked at it like a great 2 different styles, like a boxing match. You have a person who is a skilled boxer that only boxes from the outside. Then you have a guy who can box on the outside, but he can't outbox this boxer, so he fights on the inside. So what I mean by that is their scoring percentages is damn near the same, right? Lakers 46. The Warriors 40. 3-pointers. The Lakers was 6 for 25, and the Warriors was like, my bad. 25 for the Lakers was like 25 for 29. Well, I'm sorry, 5 for 6, and the Warriors was 25 for 29. The Lakers went to the line like uncannily how many times. So basically, as time went on, even though they was knocking down their threes, they wasn't getting any fouls, so they wasn't going to the line. So I think the line is actually what had actually helped the Lakers to win. Like if and then it was just so much more than that, man. It's like Vanderbilt's defense on him, like and then even Schroeder. You know what I'm saying? And it's and if you really pay attention to the last game, when they played Sacramento, the Warriors played Sacramento. If you really pay attention to, they might have lost if Curry didn't get 50 points that game. You know what I mean? Like even this game, Clay got over 20, Poole got over 20, and Steph got over 20, and they still lost. And truth be told, if you cannot play their game, You have to keep getting high percentage shots. You have to keep getting twos. They're going to foul you. You know, three.
Yeah. All right. You good? I think you froze up on me. All right. You good, Maui? I think you froze up on me.
So you cannot sit there like that's why Sacramento lost. And they don't play their game. Keep going in the inside. Keep driving. They can't. Y'all with the Warriors, they usually had shot a three that he didn't have to shoot. If he would have drove, then he went to the game. They got to shoot.
All right, you froze. All right. All right. So, all right. So I guess Maui's frozen, but I'll continue with it. Just my thoughts on this game. Obviously, just look at it from the standpoint of just
It's always going to stay disciplined based upon they do, and they capitalize off your. I see you.
All right, you in and out because I couldn't hear you because I was all right. I'm gonna have you come in and come back out because I could barely hear what you were saying. You're going in and out.
Is it me?
Yeah, I can't hear you. You're saying something, and then it's like kind of it's cutting it off. So what I'm gonna have you do, just get out. I'm gonna take you out the stream, and then I'm gonna put you back in. All right. So all right now. So shout out to our guy Ken. It's been 150 days since the Commanders tied with the Giants. It might have, and you might be right on that end. But hey, man, I know this year coming up we won't be. So let me see if you could. All right, are you good, Maui? Or you still have some technical difficulties? Okay, there we go. All right, so we'll get them all set. All right. Appreciate you, Ken. Appreciate it. All right. All right, so I think you're good. All right.
All right. Was it me?
All right. Yeah, because you were saying something, right? And then what ended up happening, it kind of like stopped. So then I was trying to like,
okay.
It's funny because I was like, well, I had some dead air. Then I started talking, then it came back around. So I'm gonna get you actually start from the top. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Like I said, it's like a fight, like inside out, like basically a dude that will fight a person on the inside and a person on the outside. Eventually, they always say In the beginning, it's nothing, but in the end, you're going to feel those punches. And I think in the end, the Warriors start realizing they wasn't going to the line. You know what I mean? And thank God some of those layups didn't go in. It could have easily been a blowout. It'd have been an ugly blowout because the Warriors still was able to play their game. They still was able to hit their threes, and they still lost. You know what I mean? And if the Lakers didn't get lacklustered where they shot some threes that they really didn't have to shoot and kept driving to the hole. And I know that happened because what they did was they took Looney out and they started playing zone. And I think the Lakers was kind of like, okay, let's see what's going on with this. But even though there was so many, this game was so dissected so much because they were like, when they were up 14, why didn't Ham do a timeout? But I watch every Laker game. I'm be honest with y'all. They be better than what we really are. And this is a new team. Don't nobody know how good they really are. But a lot of those players, they have fought since they were 2-10. You know what I mean? So under pressure, it is a time they get stiff, but under pressure, they don't do good towards the end of the games anyway. You know what I mean? But how many games this year, even though it's the playoffs, that they miss free throws? It was so many close games they could have won. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna be honest with you, Coach, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw it to you because I'm freestyling. I had wrote a bunch of stuff down, stats and stuff to prove my point, but it's only one game. But I still got a weird feeling that I'm looking at that Warrior team that played the Raptors. It has a weird feeling where they're going to have to adjust their game and not to shoot as many threes and try to drive to the basket and maybe hit more mid-range shots. But they're not scorers, people. They're not scorers. That's why they went to go get Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant was a shooter, but he also was a scorer, and he also can get his own shot off the dribble. You understand what I'm saying? They're jump shooters. You know what I mean? So it's going to be hard for them to try to get their fouls or something. They most likely going to have to manipulate through screens or things of that nature. But I believe the refs, because some of those screens, it almost like they was holding. But at the same time, on the other end, they were letting the Lakers get by on certain stuff too, just as much as they was letting the Warriors get by with stuff. So, I mean, that's really all I got, man. By the fourth quarter, it was 8 blocks to 1. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's saying today, they may try to do the zone where they take Looney out, but I think that's going to be a problem too. I remember that. I remember in the bubble, I think the Rockets did it. The Rockets tried to do that, and they got ate up.
Yeah, it's game one. I did like Lakers essentially, and they control the tempo from the jump. I mean, you just look at just the fact that even having that the Warriors come back from that 14-0 run, and you just look at address the elephant in the room. I think the biggest mismatch in this series got to be AD versus Looney.
Right.
It's one of those where this is kind of this could be somewhat of a coming of age of Anthony Davis, even though I wouldn't say coming of age, but like this is gonna be a series where if he continue to stay motivated and continue to do what he did like game one, this series can be it might end a little early potentially, but I doubt it. It's gonna be a hell of a series. I just look at it just from that standpoint of just and kudos to Lakers defense, especially in that final play, doubling Steph and essentially giving it to Poole and forcing Poole to shoot a 30-foot shot, which I still to this day like, wow, that was a terrible shot selection, especially shooting from 30 feet. Like he could have got a few steps in, especially in with like 8 seconds left to go. But kudos to the Lakers to making that adjustment. And like I said, they forced Golden State to pretty much play their style of play and was able to win that basketball game. So
that's basically what goes with my analogy. It's whoever style you're going to have to figure it out. And the problem is the Warriors always get people to play their style. And I'm like, why? You're not better than them. That's their style. Don't play their style. You know what I mean? Go in the inside. I never understand it, but it's like the opposite of Sacramento where their big men and it's better than the like we thought. Like if Sabonis was actually can shoot and bang a little bit, like what's weird too. I even saw Draymond do his tactic. Remember when he knocked AD down and then something else when he got the technical foul, and I
Yeah.
thought the poise was there. I said, okay, here we go. Things are getting a little chippy. So now Draymond got to act wild, and the Lakers didn't get intimidated by it. You know what I mean? So it is game one, but I have a little more confidence with what's going on now with the Lakers than I do that would do with Sacramento because we hadn't played well with Sacramento all year.
Yeah. So saying to the next, so another major injury that's going on now in the NBA is Chris Paul. So Chris Paul is out. Obviously, we got game 2 of the Suns in the in Denver series. That game 3 will be on Friday. If my memory serves correct. So obviously, Chris Paul is out potentially for games 3 through 5 with a groin injury. Obviously, if you look at how razor thin their depth chart is, so you're looking at a nice dosage of campaign and Steph Curry, brother-in-law, guy Damian Lee. So your thoughts on the Suns team, and essentially, is this the well, I put it this way: will Chris Paul play? Will there be a series in Game 6? Essentially.
I don't know, but I was sitting here thinking like, well, damn, Kevin Durant, you did the same thing. Like Brooklyn had the same issue; they had no bench. You know what I mean? And now it's worse for the Suns. They gave up really their core. You know what I mean? And so I looked up Chris Paul. Like I'm guessing when it comes to the playoffs, he's always getting hurt. But you got the shoulder injury, you got the 2018 right hamstring, you got the 2021 the wrist and finger. You got 2015. You got the 2016 against Portland, the third metacarpal right hand. Like you know what I mean? I was just like, now you got the groin. It's just always. Remember 2018, the hand when he slipped, which was probably his best chance to even win the championship. Like I want to because I know a lot of people don't like Chris Paul, but when I'm sitting here and look at it, like I said, as a GM, I know Chris Paul is Chris Paul, but like he has injury issues, so why wouldn't you get another point guard that's a vet or a semi vet, like a younger that could be the hell? I don't understand. Like, I just don't understand, man. It's like it's a lot of players they can put in that position. Like, you know what I mean? Just to have a backup because he gets hurt when it comes to the playoffs. It is what it is. He's going to get hurt. Like even when they went up against the Bucks, he was hurt then. You know what I mean? He gets hurt every year in the playoffs. Seem like. So would it be a game 6? I don't know. I really don't.
Okay. Yeah, that's just the luck of Chris Paul's draw. Unfortunately, he's just been unlucky. I mean, it's just what it is, and
right.
It's one of the things where I wouldn't necessarily you feel pity on him, but like you said, he gets so close in these predicaments where essentially, he gets injured, and this is another one where obviously having an injury on Monday, even though. I look at this from the standpoint of they're going to miss him a lot. I think just from the simple fact of they've already kind of short in essence in a sense, but I think that playmaking ability, they're going to miss that, especially in a series like this where they're already down 2-0. Luckily they go home. They have 3 home games in that stretch. Essentially, well, no. Well, yeah, not game 6 to be at home, but anyway. But yeah, now Cameron Payne, I like if I'm putting it this way, if it was maybe a game or 2 potentially, but I mean I'm thinking like 3 games, especially and one of these games are probably going to be more likely going to be an elimination game. I don't necessarily trust him in that predicament. Damian Lee, I mean, he'll give you some good shots here or there, but I don't necessarily think, they're definitely not going to fit that bill of Chris Paul, even at a guy who's going to be 38 this week. So I don't necessarily think that this series is the series might go back to Phoenix in game 6, but that's it. I think Denver's gonna win this series in 6. So Chris Paul may come back in that valiant effort in Game 6, but I can envision that. But this series is damn near over. I mean, I know they probably split one in Phoenix, but
Right.
we shall see. But we especially with Chris Paul, him averaging 13 a game, having an 8, almost 9 assists. You're really gonna miss that ability, especially with a team like Denver that's really deep, and it's almost like the inverse of kind of how this Phoenix squad is. So I just say good luck. I mean, the beauty thing about all this, you still got Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, but other than that, that's all you got.
So I'm looking at that trade. I like he may. I'm just saying in general. I think Chris Paul is playing harder than he should, and maybe even really want to, because Ayton is not paying. He's never played up to what he should be playing at. He's not. We're not even like we should be like, man. They still got Ayton, Kevin Durant, and they're not. We're not saying that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think they should have gave up Ayton and kept Bridges and Cam. I would have gave up Ayton and some other people. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's just a waste.
Yeah,
I think
you
you
would
could
have
have
got.
got you a better. I mean, I think Looney and with the Warriors, or even McGee is doing would be doing like he used to play for them. He would be doing better than what Ayton is doing. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have got Kevin Durant for DeAndre Ayton.
I mean, DeAndre
Or
Ayton and maybe a couple of more. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But I thought
right.
that's what it was brung up, and they
I
was like,
don't.
"Well, you're gonna have to give up Ayton," and I thought that people was like, "Oh, I don't know if I would take that." You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
True. You mess around with a guy. You mess around with a guy. Him. You would have got Joel Harris, or you would have got somebody else. You would have got Nick Claxton. You ain't. Hey, Kevin.
"Hey,
Kevin Durant ain't going
okay.
nowhere.
Think about it.
Yeah,
If they would have got if Kevin, because I think they gave us some draft picks too, right?
I think so. I think some draft capital was there, but yeah.
Because I think and to me, the problem is even Kevin Durant, they're not really like, "Hey, I'm a score 50 or type of guys." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They more finesse, and yeah, it is what it is.
KD's older. KD about to, dude. I cannot believe KD about to be 35 in September. If that does not make you feel old, I don't know what's gonna make you feel old. But Kevin Durant could be 35 in September. That is scary.
Right.
Damn. So let's talk. And obviously, let's talk about MVP talk. So obviously, it was announced yesterday the news of Joel Embiid named the league MVP. He received 73 out of the 100 first place votes. Obviously, this year he averaged 33.1 points per game, 10.2 rebounds. The last 2 years of the MVP voting, he was second to Joker. So, your thoughts on Joel, our league MVP, and Mr. Joel Embiid?
I'm happy for him. He could have easily. Um, he could have. A lot of people was looking for him to win last year. You know what I mean? So you're not gonna knock it. I think one of the reasons they didn't really give it to Giannis because they were saying Giannis the one, even though he won a championship, they was like, he been getting knocked out of playoffs. This is the whole MVP team is real, but I'm happy for him. He played 66 games, averaging 10 rebounds, 32 points a game, 4.2 assists, and he's been going up. So I'm not gonna knock him, man. I'm happy for him. You know what I mean? He fought a lot of injuries, and for him to still overcome, because in the beginning he was always getting hurt. Great player. So I can't knock him. Congratulations. It seemed like it's almost like the Oscars. You know what I'm saying? They 1 year was supposed to have been Denzel, but they gave it to somebody. So the next year they gave it to Denzel. So, word, congratulations. How do you feel?
Love it. And I think and I always love these moments because obviously when the team they were all together, and that's when it was announced. So
Mm-hmm.
him to having that emotion, I thought that was awesome. I mean, you look at just the guys like James Harden,
Mm-hmm.
consoling him and all the teammates. I just love it because it's just one of the things where I think we get so caught up in life as far as like how you have to start things. I think a lot of people, when you think about his story, being 15 years old, playing basketball in his native hometown, you look at that, then you look at just his great career at Kansas, and then missing his first 2 years of his NBA career due to a foot injury.
Right.
So a lot of people, you
Right.
gotta think to yourself, like, and people were looking at Joel Embiid like he was a bust. I mean,
Right.
it's funny now in the present day sense how we look at and we look at Zion Williamson. That's how we looked at Joel Embiid in
Right.
2016. So for him to overcome that, and then just the sheer fact of just everything, the whole process, the transition from Coach Brown to now Doc, it's great. And I think the best thing was that the emotion of seeing him in tears of the situation, because it's a hell of a moment for him, and I'm just really happy for him. But and that's one thing too, and another lesson to it. Hey, he's came in second place 2 years in a row. Like he was the groomsman, now he's the groom. So definitely huge shout out to Giannis. And this is one of those things. It's just a testament to everybody. To me, I like if because a lot of people are late bloomers in this life, and it's okay to be a late bloomer, in that regard. So I just love it. I love it. It really just speaks to to the grind that he has had, and when it comes to these type of things, there's no straight path to success. There's gonna be bumpy roads. You have to go left. You're gonna have to go right. You have to go through a curvy road. You're gonna have to go through some adversity. So shout out to Joel Embiid, and just then all the stuff that's had transpired. I know, like his brother passed away, I think in 2016. So a lot of stuff he's had to deal with on and off the court. And to your point, like I said earlier, you want to know why Giannis didn't win the MVP? Because it's a failure.
Stop.
No,
you know what's weird
joking.
about that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Giannis is having an issue about being a celebrity star. You know what I mean? Like some people, they get it, they want it, and then he seemed like he was more free. Like a lot, he been on a few podcasts. It might be old, but he was saying like he want to go to a place where he already like saying things about retirement. Like he was like, man, he want to go to a place nobody know him, and I'm just sitting here like,
yeah, that was funny.
And like some people was talking about, they said, hell, he done got that championship. Even not saying he looks like he plays like he wants more, but man, he could retire tomorrow. He seemed like he'd be all right with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, some people. That's just how some people roll.
Right.
The thing about the not Joel Embiid, the Giannis thing, I think that the question was necessary. And the thing is, it's just that's why people just like that's a stupid question.
That's not.
But if you're the best team in the league record-wise, and you lose in the first round,
right?
And you got to consider the fact he's like, well, you asked me the same question last year. You got to think about it. He asked you the same question last year because you were coming off a championship and you didn't advance further than you did last year. So every year you're gonna have that question, and you're gonna have that question. But my thing with it is, it's okay to fail in life. It's okay. That's the thing. It's like everybody just think, oh my God, if I fail, I'm a failure in life. You're not. Failure happens. In order for you to succeed, you have to fail. You have to fail. Like it's not like a situation
where you have to go through that experience.
You have to, and that's and he should know that firsthand, even in his years in Milwaukee. Those years, I mean, trust me, to get to 2021, it was a difficult stretch. Right. And he, and it is what it is. But it was funny, like you said, the retirement, because he was like, I want to just disappear. He was like, do you know what Tim Duncan is? What the hell is Tim Duncan? So it's like,
so that's really I don't blame him. It's like they want to make him this type of face, but he's saying, and even Kevin, you know what's funny? Even Kevin Durant in his own way was saying that too. Like, nah, I don't want to be that. I want to be this. I think Damian Lillard saying that too. I don't want to be that. I want to stay right over here. Like, you know what I mean? Because they don't want everybody in their business. But I think the question, and I think Giannis didn't want to take that responsibility about, do you look at this as a failure? We all know Giannis balls, even though he missed those free throws. But you know what I'm saying? Giannis doing way more than he's supposed to. I think it's really the question. Asking him was like, maybe y'all not putting the right pieces around me. Yeah, we won the championship then, but we're moving backwards and not moving forward. And I think even though they won the championship, but they still the same team that they were since like the bubble, since 2020. It's like they always in the top three. Like, what have they added to them to make them truly dominant?
Jrue Holiday.
And they really have.
That was different. That was Jrue Holiday.
That was Jrue Holiday, right? That was Jrue Holiday.
That was
so
what else?
That's that. It's okay. But that's been it was 2000. That's 3 years ago. So what else have they added to it?
Yeah,
that was 2021. Okay.
Yeah,
that's when they won
championship. Yeah.
All right. So what have they added since then? You know, everybody say PJ Tucker's gone, but he's also older. So you know what's weird about that? And it's segue to, I think, is that the next thing we're gonna talk about? I think the young man that we about to talk about, the next person, I think he would be okay with that team. You know that?
Possibly, yeah. And it's weird because the reason why they lost that series is because Giannis was out for 2 games. Well, really,
right.
2 and 3/4 of a game. We'll put it that way. I think that's what they also boiled down to. But
why would you get Crowder? Why would you get Crowder not playing?
Right, and that's the thing, because I thought that was going to be their acquisition that was going to help them, and that's weird how that didn't help. Because
why didn't you pay Portis?
Yeah. And that's because I thought the not the Portis situation, but the
right
the Crowder. Because to me, I looked at him as like, especially they had the extra depth for them. I definitely thought that was going to work out. But this is like everything. We always think things gonna work out, but they don't. But
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. I asked a few people that love basketball, but they don't love the basketball now. I said, you the president or owner or whatever, right? And you find out your coach brother passed away.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Would you still let him coach, or would you say, hey, maybe you should sit out. Maybe you can still talk to the team, but you talk. You know what I mean? You can still be public. Why don't you let your assistant? Because for him not to play Crowder or play Portis 17 minutes, like, what did you pay Portis for? You let PJ Tucker go because you wanted to pay him. Like, Lopez did his thing. I think one game he got 38 points.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that. Like, Crowder got playoff. He really a playoff player. Anything. He's been in the playoffs. I don't know what the last 10 years. So I don't understand it. Like, and I thought he was one of those guys that everybody was kind of waiting. I don't know. It's just weird. So what would you do? Would you tell the coach to sit to the side and because he was, mourning, or would you keep him there?
I mean, I would keep him there, but now, especially, now with the season being over, he'll have time to kind of, to go, to process what has happened. I mean, and the thing about it, you just don't know how. That's the thing about grief. You don't know how people handle grief. Like,
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's kind of one of the things where I don't want to be like a Danny Ainge and be like, you know what, Isaiah Thomas, you played the game, and you had your career year. Your sister dies. Oh well, we got to get rid of you. I don't want to be like the type of Danny Ainge thing, but I understand that's a business thing. So that's why, like, I get it and I don't. Like, I mean, I get it because it's a business thing, but from a humanitarian standpoint, when I think I'm veered more to a humanitarian type of personality. But yeah, I mean, that's just one of the things with him. You would just have to either if I had to have conversation or what have you, because you just don't know how a process like that sometimes it fuels people and sometimes it don't. So it's just you just don't know. I mean, that's why, like, it's just one of those where, in that type of instance, I couldn't imagine how he would have felt. and not
Right.
predictable. So
I definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't get rid of him or fire him, something like that. But I definitely would have had a real conversation with him. It's like, man, I'm not coming at you, because this is an important game, and you above all these guys' careers, and then you have somebody like a Giannis who
yeah,
everybody loves, and everything gonna really fall back on him when we already know he playing out there with a bad back. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Even that, I think I might be, but even that, like Giannis has always had issues with free throws. You know what I mean? It's like every year that's been an issue. You know what I mean? It just seemed like you should have just answered the questions. Like it's a lot of other things I know I got to work upon, but
yeah.
I know what he was saying. But if you go back, every player has done that. Like, you know what I mean? Every player has had those moments. Man, we talking about practice. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
every player's had that moment.
and
I'm gonna be
and
okay.
yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
go to my
another
big
thing.
home. I'm gonna go to my big home. I'm gonna go do this. Remember Miami? You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, and he said you go back to your miserable life, and he right because a lot of us went home, and a lot of his haters went that Monday morning and had to go to work. So he was right about that.
But
I
I'm
don't care
just
how
saying
people,
so.
I don't care how people took it that way, but I guarantee
Yeah,
you, a lot of people that was hating him after Dirk Nowitzki went off, they went back
yeah,
to their shitty lives on Monday.
right. But shout out to Giannis by him doing that. It gave a lot of people who got content to talk about it. So that's what's up.
Yeah, but it's okay. Failure happens, people, and it's hey, it makes you stronger.
But
For
Giannis, you're
sure.
gonna have to make that decision. You gonna stay there, or you gonna try to go to some other place?
He said he'll go to Sweden. I forgot what he said.
Yeah, nah, I
I
ain't
forgot
talking
what
about that.
country. He
Yeah,
said I
he
want to
said
go to
Sweden.
Sweden because no one would know me. He was
Nobody would
like,
know me. He said, I
mm,
sat down on the curve and I ate,
mm,
and they was like, you don't know who Giannis? Who is that Giannis? But you play
right,
soccer?
right.
you know,
And I don't blame him, especially once he gets older, because you want your peace and solitude. Because if he
right,
stayed in Milwaukee, oh my gosh, he couldn't go nowhere.
right. The league gonna
Yeah.
try to get him to go somewhere else, bro.
Well, all I gotta do is go up the road about 2 hours, come to Chicago. We'll take care of you.
You're the same coach.
Yeah, probably Bill Donovan. He's a solid coach, but everybody always makes bonehead decisions, and I
Yeah,
think that was his bonehead move. But yeah, unless somebody else comes available, he in Houston. If things don't work
right.
out in Houston, call us. You know, I mean, if
You-
what's his face
Would you take Sam
Mazzulla?
Cassell?
Potentially. I mean, why
I think
not?
it's about time.
Because he's under that Doc coaching tree. You think about like
hmm
guys like Ty Lue. A
hmm
lot of guys under Doc tree. So yeah,
Right,
he's ready. He'll be ready.
right.
Yep. So Dillon Brooks, as you kind of talked about a little earlier. So Dillon Brooks, which I find it very interesting. This news broke yesterday, and
hmm
obviously, our guy Shams, as the young people on Twitter call him the Riz God.
hmm
So, this is part of his tweet where he said that pretty much the sources stated that Dillon Brooks, and I quote, he will not be bought back under any circumstances, end quote. So Dillon Brooks, this season he averaged 14.3 points per game. In the
hmm
playoffs, he went down to 10.5 points per game.
mm
Shot 31% from the field and 23% from the three-point line.
Right.
Your thoughts on Dillon Brooks? Getting a one-way ticket out of Memphis.
I think it's BS. I think that Memphis team, everybody look at job, but the heart and soul really was Dillon Brooks. Now I understand that, and like you said, everybody failed, and he felt this year. What happened today what happened this year. I'm sure was going to be a growing pain, because one thing that did happen this year, he played 72 games. Now last year he averaged 18 points and he only played 30 because I think he hurt himself. You know what I'm saying? No, yeah, I think he got hurt and then he came back, but he was still a. I played with the Grizzlies on the game, and he's a weapon of mine. I just think this year, pertaining to last year, I think they were just really feeling themselves. You know what I mean? And I feel like um, you got a reality check this year, so they got to get some maturity going. But I wouldn't let, and that's the reason why they wasn't as good. They let slow mo go. They let weapons that got them there last year. Because if Ja didn't get hurt easily, they might have had a really good chance. Because wasn't nobody checking for the Warriors, man. They really wasn't. Not saying that the Warriors is a word, but nobody was checking for them. People got hurt. Ja got hurt. Like they played, and it was funny. They even played better. They played more together. Like it wasn't a lot of responsibility on each play. They played extremely team ball. I know Adams is always hurt. You know what I mean? So I'm not when I look for him there, I'm shocked. You know what I mean? But they was better last year. Like it's like now they put more responsibility on some of their core players. And Brooks has a lot to do with it. Like I said, their success is not just Ja. And I understand that everybody say Steven Adams, but it ain't just Ja. It's also that boy Brooks. And just because he shot this and this, now he got intimidated. He played himself. It's like you said something to the one of the, if not the biggest, not even the biggest star in the NBA, one of the biggest stars in the world. So you put all the cameras on you. You got to deal with that. And he didn't. He ran from it. He said something and he kind of ran from it. And I'm telling y'all this, any other team he go to, he might end up being cheap though. But any other team he go to, he gonna be a factor. I just don't think I see everybody dissing him because you know how social media is, but yeah. I think anywhere he go, he's gonna make a mark. Like Draymond Green is good, but Dillon Brooks' stats look way, way, way better than Draymond Green's. Let's just be honest with you.
Yeah. And the Dillon Brooks thing is funny because initially the whole the connotation under any circumstance, I thought it was a little funny. But then once I kind of got off this little, high and stuff, I hate the terming of that because it's almost like under any circumstances, to me, it's you think to yourself, what are you putting out there? What kind of narrative are you putting out there? Essentially, because to me that's such a negative connotation to say under any circumstance. So pretty much, even if you were destitute and no free agent wanted to come in, Dillon Brooks not coming in whatsoever. So I didn't like that from the standpoint. And then the whole thing of you're really making him a scapegoat and pretty much the reason why this team isn't successful as it is. And the thing about this Memphis team, they lack veterans. I mean, you think about it, Dillon Brooks is 27 years old. He literally is the veteran on his team. And what do you think gonna happen? And that's the thing. That's what I think essentially. And I know this is something that all the NBA players talk about. As far as these teams now lacking a veteran presence, and that's what Memphis really needs because all this stuff that happening. If you had a Udonis Haslem, he would have essentially shut that down, especially after the comments about LeBron James and not speaking after the media. He gonna tell you, hey, I see Udonis Haslem telling, hey, get your ass out there. You the one that talked all that trash. You gotta, you gotta handle that. And and he would have respected him in that way.
Right.
But the thing with the Memphis thing, I just find it funny because they loved the little, the intro dances and when he came on the season finale with a perm with his hair all out and all that, they loved that type of stuff. And so now that happens. But the thing about what Dillon Brooks is, I don't know why people look at Dillon Brooks as this villainous character as of now. This dude been a villain since Oregon. I remember when he stepped to Coach K, and I loved it. And I loved it. He stepped to Coach K, and this was in 2017 after he because that was the year that they went to the Final Four. So Dillon Brooks has always been this agitative. It's almost like we know what we was gonna get with Dillon Brooks. Dillon Brooks has been like this since he's played basketball, especially at the collegiate level that I remember. So I mean, like you said, I know people saying, "Oh, he gonna be out the league." You average averaging 14 a game and you play 72 games this year, you ain't going hungry in the NBA. You're not going. If you're averaging 14 a game, you are not going hungry. He's going somewhere. Like you said, it may not be where he wants to be financially wise or the fit, but he's not gonna go hungry this summer.
And he play his hand right. If he play his hand right, he gonna get his bread because people know his name. It may look negative now. Like, and I said this, and somebody said, you know what's probably gonna happen? He probably gonna be playing with Bron. That's what happens. I want everybody to understand something. There's a player, I don't know who he was drafted by, but I know he played for Indiana. I think it was the Pacers he got drafted. Then he played for Chicago. Then he played for Houston. And he got into it with Kobe Bryant. And then over the summer, Kobe asked him to come play with him. And he shot the game-winning three-pointer to win a championship. He also jumped in the damn stands and fought a fan. That was probably one of the worst things that happened to the NBA. His name is Meta World Peace, Ron Artest. And everything Ron did was way worse than him. You know what I'm saying? And even though Ron is bigger, probably a better scorer, I'm telling you, he can't even score. I was like, that's not the Dillon Brooks I've seen over the years. He used to knock down some three-pointers. I said, I played a game with him. That's how I set him up. He had knocked down the threes. He knocked down threes last year. He was averaging 18 points. But it's getting to the point now. He's kind of taking a Draymond Green, a PJ Tucker. What's my man that played for Boston?
Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart. He's playing that role now. That's exactly who he's trying to be like, is Marcus Smart. He's playing a certain role on that team, so he's giving up points. And I think now we understand what the real issue is. We need to start looking at the people that's running the organization. You see what I'm saying? That's some real issues that's going on, because for them they supposed to be supporting him, blah, blah, blah. But I know he's about to be a free agent, and that's cool. Somebody gonna snatch him up.
Yeah. And that's the thing I didn't like about it. Just let him go. Don't say we're not gonna bring him back under any circumstance, because
very unprofessional.
That creates a narrative,
right?
And that's why I don't like that connotation behind it. And yeah, that's a Taylor Jenkins. You know, even though I hate calling out my 1984 guys, but that's Taylor Jenkins. You know, that's one of his guys. So I mean, hey, I was just look at Memphis. Hey, you can get rid of him. You gotta get a vet. You gotta get a vet.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get that team under control.
And it might be Draymond.
Potentially.
For real, it might be Draymond.
I don't know. He might go down south.
No, he ain't coming to LA.
I don't know. You know, I wouldn't put nothing past LBJ and them boys.
Hey man,
he gonna have all.
Hey, honestly, I need to be quiet. He probably gonna mess around and go play with the Kings.
Oh yeah,
be with Mike Brown.
With Mike Brown, that would be interesting. Oh god, him and Sabonis. That'd be interesting. I mean, I wonder how that conversation would be. And
we were just playing.
Point.
Go ahead. Let's try to do about. At some point, you gotta understand that we're just playing basketball. like that's one of the best things at night. Is his podcast coming on. I was sleeping, woke up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'd be like, bro, like how? I be thinking to myself, all right. So I know it is so weird because like he'll play the game, right? He say Saturday. I mean it's Sunday, right? So the game over 6 o'clock our time. I'm like, this man just released the podcast episode. I'm like, dude, did you wash your ass? Like, you take a shower? Like this dude literally just record like a podcast, coach. Like literally.
I didn't, coach.
It really feels like he's recording.
Like, coach, like I didn't. You know, I don't have a problem with pool.
Because you're mad, you think something like, damn.
Right.
I'd be like, damn, Dre.
This close.
Oh gosh, and he was doing that. Yeah, yeah. And he did, man. When he did that in the NBA Finals, I was tripping because I was like, dude, this man literally is doing a podcast, like really, like he's doing a post game show.
Right. Like they just lost. Right. He's like, yeah. So great team. D'Lo, nice layup in the like I'm just sitting here like
Trey, you got a
you know,
wife and kids and a family. Decompress.
he like auditioning for that TNT spot. He wait for Charles to move.
Right. I'd be like, dude, you got a family, man. Decompress.
But it's the beautiful thing about it is though, once we grow and we see these guys playing basketball and they've been playing basketball their whole life, and for them to find something else that they have some type of interest is, and it's so good for the league. Like I was watching the Kelsey brothers, like great podcast, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm like, it just all of them, man. Like all these different ones that's coming out, and I'm like, man, this is so cool because you get to hear some of those great stories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it is funny, man. Like he just out of nowhere, I'm like, he couldn't wait. I'm gonna go ahead and lock this down now.
I'm over here looking at the scores, and all of a sudden I got an alert. Like, Trey, why is you doing a podcast right now?
So do you think trading Wiseman might have hurt them?
Yes. Because I'm telling you, because especially in this series, I'm telling you,
Red.
they needed him, especially in this series, because Looney he's slow footed. So, and it's just one of those things where if they don't survive this Lakers series, you're really gonna look at it. And even though your boy GP too, he dunked on the king and all, but still,
you just couldn't wait to say that, could you? Couldn't wait. You know why it happened?
You brought up James Wiseman though, so I had to bring up because he was in the trade.
Right. That's great because I'm happy you said that because we kept saying they didn't want to pay him, so they went back and got him. And don't get me wrong, I'm almost to say like I'm not saying Gary Payton the second is not doing. He ain't doing what he did last year.
Yeah.
He ain't making a mark like he did last year. So that you know what I mean? Like like he was in the game, but he got that dunk, and that's probably the only few things. But I'm gonna tell you, Rui is going to be a big thing for this because they looking at AD and blah blah blah, but Rui is going to be one of the if factors because I don't think Wiggins. Let's say like if Wiggins switch off the LeBron, and then he goes to stick Rui. Rui got too much body for him. Like I seen that, I was like, he backed him up like this. It ain't the Warriors don't have nobody that could basically pay their back to the basket. That's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, because they're finesse. They're literally like we talked about earlier. They're a shooting team. You don't think about them as a tenacious defensive team. They'll lock you down.
Stereotypical Western Conference team
from the Bay.
The Bay.
But yeah, man, it's definitely gonna be interesting. But yeah, James Wiseman, yeah. And the thing about that, I don't just think they weren't patient enough in a sense to wait for him.
Mm-hmm.
Which, and I think, down the line, because I think now he's in Detroit. I forgot where James Wiseman's at now.
Good defense. But you know what kills me? Yeah. Like I was sitting here thinking about Memphis, and they two big men had got hurt, right?
Yeah.
Well, Clark, and I was thinking to myself right before, why wouldn't they go get a veteran big? Like, why didn't they go get Tristan Thompson or you know what I mean? Because I'm a Laker. They trained. It was a couple of dudes that they trained, foreign guys. Then they worked out. I'm sorry, DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah,
and then they did Tristan. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying there was a few of them. So we do know for a fact that there's some bigs that was out there. And I'm like, why wouldn't you get some bigs in there? You know what I mean? To help off the bench. Because you do know they already said Tristan coming. Like it was like he said that LeBron told Tristan, like, yeah, Tristan, they're gonna need for you to speak up and tell them what to do. But man, you need to go ahead and get ready. Because you know get you in that game, you know? So I just was I don't know, man. That just bothered me. And I'm like, man, sometimes you really got to start looking at these GMs. Like, why do you have a G League? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't you, if you need a big man, then you should be able to just go to G League and get you somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
I don't understand.
Yeah, if Tristan would have been up in Memphis, it would have been a parade in the city. I would have been challenging my Donald Sterling. Oh yeah, that Tristan Thompson made love to every woman in town.
It's really hard for me to look at him now that we know.
Right. It's just like
It's really hard to look at him like
But yeah, but in all seriousness, yeah, Memphis need a vet. They need a vet.
They should have been got a vet. Let's just let you know that.
I know.
That just lets you know that whoever running that, they not really looking for them to win a championship. They just want to get to the playoffs. You know what I mean?
But yeah, man, it's unfortunate, but you know it is what it is. So
right.
All right, we'll put a bow on tonight's Couch Coach Live. Who's getting this week's game ball?
Give game ball to two people. The first one is personal. Get a game ball to my cousin Jasmine, who is moving to South Carolina with a new job from Ohio. I just want to say I love you. I'm proud of you. Blessings. I'm happy for you. Now, the actual game ball I'm giving to Lamar Jackson, the highest paid player in the NFL, with a $260 million contract and 185 guaranteed. Congratulations. Sure. We prayed that they did this. I am so happy. It is going to be so hard because I really want to root for him, but you're in my division. So I helped you get your money, bro. I don't know if I could do that, but hey man, quick question.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the draft, man?
It was good, man. It was a great, solid 3-day holiday. Great. Yeah, I love the draft. And obviously I think just the backdrop of Kansas City, that was really nice. And just seeing that festival atmosphere for those 3 days was amazing.
Quick, how did the Commanders do? I didn't get, I didn't get to watch any of it, man.
I think it was solid. Like I said, it wasn't the most sexiest of drafts for the Commanders, but it was a need versus want. It's almost like you want a PlayStation, but you need a coat to keep you warm throughout the winter. So we really address a lot of needs. Okay. So I definitely solid draft for the most part.
Anybody kind of scare you in your division that some of the teams in your division got?
I think like Jalen Carter. I think him going to him and then Nolan Smith, them both going to Philadelphia. I think that's going to be interesting.
Damn.
And then Deuce Vaughn going to the Cowboys. I think I can see him now like on third down, like shredding us alive. And then also I think the Giants end up getting Jalen Hyatt. I think the wide receiver from Tennessee. I think that's going to be definitely an interesting pick for them. But yeah, it's going to be everybody pretty much for the most part had a solid draft.
Really, any winners or losers?
Winner wise, I know the Seahawks. I think everybody looked at the Philadelphia Eagles as a team that really won, which obviously, but I think a team that's outside of that was probably the Seattle Seahawks. Another great draft where they got Devin Witherspoon, the cornerback, coupled with Tariq Woolen. They already have, so that'd be a nice secondary coming up. Got JSN, the wide receiver from Ohio State, so he'll couple great with DK and Tyler Lockett. So they had a really solid draft. I know a lot of people was thinking that they were going to get a quarterback, but I think they did pretty well. I like what the Texans did, obviously, getting CJ Stroud and then getting Will Anderson from the third overall pick. So, they got a quarterback in place, and then you get the Will Anderson. He'll be a booking on your defensive on the edge for time to come, especially he'll be grading at DeMeco Ryans' system with the Houston Texans. So, I love what what those teams have done.
Any losers?
Probably Miami. Just the fact that they lost their first round draft pick because of the tampering situation with Tom Brady and Sean Payton. They felt they got some needs. I think that first pick was like the 51st pick. So, I think they only had like 4 draft picks. So I think they were really, really the major loser of this year's draft.
So, do you think the Jets is really going to do something big by getting Aaron and Cobb?
I think they could be legit. I don't think I put it this way: they'll have a game. They'll play a game the third week in January, the third weekend in January in the playoffs.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't. They got a gauntlet. Now, if this Jets team was like in the NFC,
Right.
I can see them being a Super Bowl contender. I can see them being like a top 3 with Philly, San Francisco. But with the Jets, you look at the Chiefs, the Bills, Cincinnati, and that's just the first couple of tiers. Now you're thinking, then you look at the other teams that are reemerging. Maybe the Chargers. You're looking at them as a team, but there's just a gauntlet of quarterbacks. So I can see them being a playoff team, but I don't know. I think the wild card is probably where they're going to be at because I definitely think Buffalo still commands the division. And then even if you have a healthy Tua, a healthy Tua in Miami is slightly better than the Jets as well. But but you think about just even with them on the fringe playoff team, even with the play of Mike White and Zach Wilson, they'll win some games.
Okay. Okay. But I also saw that you did a recap with a gentleman, right?
Yeah, AB.
Colts fan, I think.
Cowboys, unfortunately.
That's right. That's what I was thinking. Because it was Cowboys. So that was what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, from the Tacos and Touchdowns podcast.
Tacos and Touchdowns. Yeah, I see that. That.
Yeah, he was on our podcast on our Thanksgiving.
Yeah, episode. I remember him. Yeah, word. Yeah. So man, I just that's what's up. I saw that and I didn't get a chance to see the show. So I was like, okay, let me holler at him, see what he got to throw at me. All right. That's what's up,
it was
man.
a good show. Yeah, we did a draft recap and talked about a lot of stuff on there. Yeah, for sure. And that's available on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, pretty much anywhere at Couch Coach Live, even on the website as well.
Right.
My game boy got to go to Keitrell Clark, the defensive back from the University of Louisville, by way of Manchester High School, drafted 180th overall in the NFL draft to the Arizona Cardinals. So definitely huge shout out to him. Another 804 guys make it to the NFL. I always look at the situation where, hey, the 804, we all win, So definitely shout out to our Class 5 brethren, Keitrell Clark of Manchester High. And, hey,
congratulations.
Like you see us in these next coming drafts.
Right.
804 will be well represented in these next couple of years draft. Just wait on it.
Right.
There's talent out here.
Right. Plenty of it.
804 got talent. And it's just the beginning.
Right. Make sure it's 804, not 75.
It's 804.
All of us, man. 757 and 804.
Yeah, they had their run.
Right.
804 about to take over.
Okay. Hey, I stay 804. I ain't mad at you.
Yep. Because everybody talking about Virginia, especially when I was coming up. Oh, 757.
757, yeah.
Cats.
Yeah.
Oh no. These kids now, them 804 boys.
Them 804 boys keep eating that Purdue chicken. They steroids.
Yeah. They out there.
Hey, Coach, guess what? Random.
What?
I figured out my mother's recipe for the hot wings.
Oh, nice. Don't worry. You cracked the code, huh?
I cracked the code, bro. You should have seen me. My cat was looking at me like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "I did it. I figured it out."
Yeah. So, final thoughts before we head on out tonight.
Man, great show. I'm really excited, man. This is a really good playoffs, man, to watch it and not really sit there in a biased way. Well, not a biased way to say, man, we already know who's gonna win the championship, So it's great, man. It's great. Great show, man. You know what I'm saying? Can't wait till next week.
Yeah, man. Another great show. Glad that we got a game early. No doubleheader tonight, so we can go to bed early.
Right.
That 1 o'clock going to bed was a little bit of struggle.
Yeah, that stuff is getting a little too crazy, man.
It's
real.
We will have to start. Yeah, Adam Silver, and I say this every week, and I'll probably say it till he fix it. we need to have these West Coast games a little early, man. 10 o'clock a little too early, too late, man.
Right, man. For real.
I don't even know how we used to like watch 10:30 games. Like,
I'm trying to figure. I don't remember being up this late to watch these games though. Like back in the day. That's what's tripping me out.
Adulting, like I am now. Like,
I got the weirdest feeling. Like even their games came on at 9 for some reason, man. I think it started. You know what?
Yeah.
That's the truth. It used to come on at 6 o'clock. It used to start at 6. B. I think it used to start at like 6 to 6:05. Because remember, TBS and TNT, 6:05, and like I think it started like that, man. It is getting crazy. It's late.
I know, and especially these West Coast games, and I don't know, we need to have, I know the finals is gonna be at 9, but we might need to do all the games start at 9 because we need to be in the bed by midnight.
I be sitting here waiting for you to send me the joke. So I usually be sitting there waiting, and I was like,
yeah.
He ain't sent it yet, so okay, he gonna send it in the morning.
I worked. It's funny because I don't know if did I send it? Did I send it this morning? Or did I send it late last night? Because I know I was working.
I think you sent it before the game was over with.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I sent it like in the fourth quarter.
I was laughing.
I was lay in the bed, and then luckily I stayed up. I was shocked because usually when I lay in the bed, it's a
man. It's a very tactical. It's a trip, man. Like it's a very tactical game watching the Warriors versus LeBron, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you watching, you don't want to miss anything. It's a trip,
I know. It is. It keeps middle-aged men up at night.
Like I'm watching Curry, right, and you see him about to run, and then I was like, man, they touching him. So if he run through the lane, he'll go to the other side. The person like LeBron and all them like putting a hand on him and they talk. I was like, man, this is masterful to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, crazy to say the least. But
right,
yeah, man, these games is keeping us middle-aged men up. But I'm like, June, I'm gonna get me some sleep. You know?
Why am I? You ever seen The Guys Must Be Crazy? Every time I look at Jimmy Butler, he look like one of them. Let me shut up. Nothing.
He look a little MJ-ish.
He looking a little. Yeah, he looking. I'm trying to figure out what MJ you talk about because I don't think it's he looking a little. Oh, you talk about him shooting? I don't.
Yeah.
We'll talk over here.
Yeah, I mean, he looking like he focused out there. Hopefully he'll get himself together and get back on the court and get himself together. But
he different.
Yeah,
I ain't talking about his play.
Man,
go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't know. And that's like TikTok. So when they go to the Garden, they gotta go up like this ramp, this ramp, like this long ramp. I'm like, damn! How did Jimmy get out there game 1? I see why he missed game 2. If you gotta go down that ramp is a little. And I know I'm not fit in basketball shape, but damn, even if I wasn't fit, I was fit. I know that would have been murderous on my ankles and my lower body.
Did you see the pettiness of the Warriors not to have LeBron's powder out there?
Yes, no powder. Yeah. You know what's funny? Because I didn't get it in the beginning because I was like, why is everybody like feel like they was hovering over LeBron James during? Because remember when the girl was taking a picture? And I'm like, why is they taking the picture? And then I know, he ain't got no powder. I'm like, all right, y'all I'm telling y'all, if Dillon Brooks didn't teach y'all a lesson, y'all bet.
One thing that I noticed that they was very respectful. All of them was very respectful. And I think the only one that's acting crazy, talking trash is Poole.
I'm telling y'all, I gotta keep playing with the king. I don't get he finna turn 39 now. Y'all say he old and he slow, but for some odd reason, y'all keep messing with him. Like they ain't Dillon Brooks saying he old and slow, and he ain't gonna respect him until he get 40. He beat him about 40. LeBron James, you deliberately robbed him of his powder, and he beat y'all. Well,
Dillon Brooks, he beat him. They beat him by 40 last game, and then he got 20 and 22 rebounds.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Don't be messing with the king. I don't care. Like, hey, he said, shoot, I don't care. Y'all respect me like y'all respect me in 07. Straight up.
Stupid. You know, he didn't get. They were talking about how he didn't get one vote in the MVP rating. They looked it up and they looked it up and they said 40% of his whole career he's been in the MVP race.
But you know why? Because it's by the media.
Yeah, it's by the media, and that's what the conversation was about. That was the conversation was about. Like they said, people don't like that argument so much, and it's not even just LeBron. Even when Jordan was there, you know what I'm saying? How he played, or even Kobe with the accusations. You know what I mean? It's the same in NFL. I think the last year Antonio Brown was played with the Steelers. He should have been up for a Pro Bowl, and they didn't vote him because they were upset of what the Steelers said about him. I'm like, that don't have anything to do with if he got the numbers, he's supposed to be in the Pro Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, why would you give the voting to analysts? I don't get that.
Yeah. And that's the thing where, they cover the game, and they're supposed to be the ones who are in these locker rooms and watch games day in and day out. I get it, but that's the thing about it is, even with that, there's always going to be some bias. There's going to be some type of favoritism in it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
And I'm not going to knock it because at the end of the day, I don't want somebody to be like, oh, Chris dissing me. No, I want to in his lifetime vote for something.
Right.
I mean, from a some type of standpoint, it may not be the NBA, but if I could be a vote for something,
I think it should be ex-players. I think it should be ex-players. I don't think it should be analysts. I think it should be ex-players. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you want me to be a part of your voting process, email me online at gmail.com.
Don't you dare let Coach do it. He is biased. He is never going to vote right for a Cowboy. It's going to all.
But you know what's so crazy? People do that all the time. So it's like, but people do that all the time. So it's like, it won't be nothing new. Oh, tomorrow game at 9:00. Good. I go to bed at midnight. Yes.
I feel you though, B. You don't even understand.
I'm sorry, but
you don't even understand.
I'd be like, bro, it's like I need to be in this bed by midnight. It used to be 11:30.
Right.
Usually, if it ain't if it ain't football, if it ain't Sunday night football, or
right.
Because even Thursday night football, because even football, I'm in the bed by about quarter to midnight.
It's almost like they starting to cater to people that work from home, or or something. Not really work from home, but like people like I don't know, like that be online and play video games. Yeah, like you know what I'm saying. Like you ain't even thinking about people that still gotta get up and even if they work from home, like you make your own schedule, like the people that do DoorDash or Uber Eats and shit like that. You know what I mean?
They don't do it for people who got bills to pay and got gray in their beard. We tired.
Who got to clock in?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Right.
On the computer.
Right. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. The face of, they ain't got love for middle-aged men these days. Out here in these middle-aged streets, but it's all good.
Hey man, they seen all the stuff that happened during the pandemic, and they like, man, please, everybody, we got all the viewership. Everybody was at home.
For sure. But now we back outside, so as young folks say. So
could we take a step back? Hey, who the funniest about it? You know who really the funniest about it? It's one person that's really complaining about it. Ooh, thank God. We could be home. We could be out here by 1:15.
Oh, yeah. Kenny and Chuck. All of them.
Stupid.
I don't blame him.
It's like, yo, why are we still here?
I know, because he was like 1:15. Kenny was like, we should be out here by 1:05. I don't blame him one bit.
Look, because they old. I don't understand. Like, I know Ernie want to say, Chuck, why did you renegotiate the contract if you ain't want to do it?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't blame him.
I ain't gonna front though, man. I mean, I'm going for the Lakers, but It would be crazy to see the Lakers versus the Knicks. I know they wanted to be Boston, but that Knick energy, be with all those
Yeah, yeah,
stars there at the game is
yeah,
different. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yesterday was
Oh
cool. Yesterday was cool because it was like coast to coast. It was almost like the tale of two coasts. You got from New York to
right,
San Francisco.
man. I was Mello and then John Starks and you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
Canby and all them Dave Chappelle and all
Jessica
these.
Alba.
Everybody was there, B, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself like, that would be crazy. L.A. versus New York.
Wow, the NBA would go crazy.
Yeah, they've been waiting for that, but you know they wanted to be Boston and L.A.
Yeah, it would be Boston. It would be nice, Boston, LA.
because you know
But
they both got
you know,
17.
yeah. But I wouldn't mind the Hava series again.
What are you talking about? Whatever. You just
Go to
saying
see
that.
Hava because it's the Boston accent, dude.
Look,
Hava.
I thought about you. I was watching Bobby Brown on Arsenio Hall, and
Oh
he'll
Jesus,
sing a couple of bars,
Jesus.
and then he'll start talking, and I was
Oh
like,
God.
I said, Coach
Oh
is
my
so
God.
stupid. What he say when he bought his mama car? What he say?
Oh yeah, I remember. No, because remember he said, yeah, at the time I didn't have a car. He's like, I was like, what? And this is Bobby Brown, dog. Like you, you be thinking Bobby Brown, like, oh, he said, yeah, and I used the studio. I didn't have, so my mom, she drove her car. Like, God, like what?
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. So what if he had wanted to have a car? We would have got an Uber.
Right, yo. So now I can't hear him talk. Like I was watching a Rock with You video, and he was talking to the girl on the phone. He was like, "It's okay, sweetness. I'll catch the red eye." Like he said. I said, "Yo, I don't like
Yo,
Coach
this guy.
B. Now I can't even have mellow out. I'm always thinking about this
Right.
dude, and his accent is
Yeah, man.
the strongest out of everybody.
I know. Isn't that weird? Like everybody else is at like a normal one, but he's just like his is like really strong.
Right.
And it's funny, and it's like it's one of the things like you never notice it until like I feel like boss accents was on my brain. And that's when I heard the interview. I was like, yo, this gonna live in my mind rent free forever.
Right.
This gonna pay property taxes in my mind.
Let me ask you a question. Who got
Yeah.
the best nicknames in sports that you can think of? You think of three?
I gotta think of some. I think like because like LeBron, you call him King James, the chosen
Uh-huh.
one, those
Uh-huh.
ones. I gotta think about it.
I
What are
always
some
like
good
Dr.
sports
J.
names? Oh
But
yeah.
somebody
Oh then
said,
yeah.
I was watching the joint and he said Magic. He said we didn't even know his real name was Irvin.
Irvin. Yeah, Irvin.
Like, we didn't even know that like it was Magic. That was like wow. The worst one is the
Yeah.
Worm. Oh my God.
Dennis, yeah, Dennis, yeah. Yeah, that Magic Johnson, he make love to every woman in town. Now that lives in my mind rent free for the rest of my life. Yeah, it's Irvin Johnson. And then remember
Yeah,
that then there's actually a real Irvin Johnson to do the center. Irvin Johnson, the other Irvin Johnson.
I think I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I vaguely remember that. I think I
Earl the
vaguely
Pearl
remember that.
Monroe
Yeah, Earl the
or
Pearl.
Dan
Oh.
Thunder Marley.
Dan Thunder Marley. Like,
Marley.
wow.
Yeah.
What did they call Jerry West? What did they call him?
The logo.
The logo. That's the one. Like
Yeah.
man, the logo.
The logo.
That's the one. Half man, half amazing.
Yeah.
I think Chef's Curry is alright too though. Yeah, man.
And there was another one. Um what was because then Mushy Jig Tom Chambers had one too. Remember Tom
Remember
Chambers?
I don't remember his. I don't remember his. I remember uh Clark Kent.
Yeah,
Um,
and Harold Biner, Baby Jordan.
Baby Jordan. Yeah. You know, that's funny, man. I think a lot of those dudes, because they was comparing them, man. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and Michael Petrus, the Euro Jordan. Charles Bach used to, Charles Bach used to call him Michael Peaches. Yo, if you ever bored one day, go on like YouTube and just look at like when Orlando made that run in 2009, and like you look at
hmm
some old like NBA on TNT stuff, and he'll be like,
hmm
"Yeah, Michael Peaches," and they like, "What?" And that's why I wish Shaq was on there. He'd be like, "Say that again, Chuck." Said Michael Peaches. Who he play
Yo,
for?
I was watching Mad Dog on First Take,
Oh Lord.
and he was messing up Rui's name, Ripper Hopper
Oh,
More. That's why they got him on there, because
oh my
he supposed to
God.
be like their. He supposed to be like
Yeah,
they
let's
they
get
Charles
realistic.
Barkley.
Yeah,
He was like,
he is. Yeah.
he called Stephen Stevie. I'm just saying, like,
Who called this dude Stevie? Like,
who
yo,
the fuck is Stevie?
but you know who be roasting him on a low?
Who?
JJ Redick.
No.
JJ Redick, he was like, you know what Mad Dog man about this time? He's like about Bob Cousy missing a shot in 1958.
Right. He said,
I was
I know
like,
he's upset because he know Bob. He said Bob Cousy was with 1 for 8 back in
yeah, yeah,
1953.
in the opening game or something like that. Like, yo,
Right. Oh my
Stevie.
God.
But yeah,
That was fun. He be cracking me out. I'm just saying. You know, Looney can't handle AD. AD, like I really was thinking. When I watched that game last night, I'm telling you, Stevie. You know, I'm not lying, JJ. That
right.
the Lakers are a better team than them. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, these guys played well, and they still didn't win the game. Like, I was like, it was
Like,
hilarious.
like Stevie, have you ever seen a player better than Anthony Davis than Tommy Eisen? Let me leave my dog alone. Yo, he didn't say some mess like that.
You
He be
know,
like, "What?"
it's so funny. Me, he was like, he said, "Well, I always mess his name. You know, the guy for the Bullets, the bullet, uh, Willie Hopper, remember? like,
Right? Like, who says the Bullies, dog? They've been the Wizards since like '98.
I know,
Like,
me,
bro,
I know, I know. I was sitting here like,
he probably still think they played the MCI Center.
basically, but I'm happy he's on there because he's right. It's a lot of stuff that we talk about today. We forget certain things was
Right?
good back in the 80s. Like with certain thing that people always forget the past. Like, you know what I mean?
But yeah,
They like I know there's a lot of stuff they be like, oh, this never happened in a game 7. I'm thinking to myself, man, I don't feel like going back to look, but I bet you, because I don't care. That Sacramento Lakers game back in the early 2000s.
but I thought I don't know because I thought Jerry West. I forgot because remember the year that he won the league MVP.
Right.
I mean that league. I mean the Finals MVP, and they lost to Boston. I forgot how many points he put up in that game 7. I doubt if he put up 50, but it was damn near close to 50.
Right. I feel like, well, you
I
know what's
mean,
funny that you bring it up. I feel like watching that series again. I wish they had it because that series was good, man. But yeah, man, like I don't know. But I don't think the NBA do a good job to you know let us see things of the past. I don't think the NFL does either. You know what I mean?
yeah, you got to dig for it. That's the only thing about
And
it.
we
You got to
shouldn't
dig
have
for it.
to. We shouldn't have
Yeah,
to. You know, that's what I mean. You know, like even if we shouldn't have to. Even if you went through YouTube, you know what I mean? Like it's like I know you want ownership, but I mean,
but
we
they
should
can
be able
have
to
ownership.
see those games. I would play like I would pay for like a league pass if I was able to have access to watch any game that I want, not just game now. I'm talking about period.
In
You
pass.
know?
Well, YouTube TV might do it. You probably have to pay an arm and a leg, a thigh, a eye, a brain. YouTube TV
Man,
probably going to mess around and do that one of these days.
man, that'd be great. I mean, it might be worth it. You know what I'm saying? At least
Oh,
you can like it's like you getting the edge up and the guy's charging you more than you, and then he does the edge up, and then you like, damn, my hair, it looked perfect for 4 or 5 days. You get your money's worth, and we work hard for our money. We work hard. So why if I'm gonna pay for something, like for instance, I just went to a restaurant, right? And I asked for 3 things. They sides. So she told me, well, you got to wait. It's 8:00. They close at 11. She said, you got to wait. They got to make it. I said, okay, I get it. Playoffs, DoorDash, I get it. Then they come back and said they don't have any more coleslaw. So I want something else. And I was like, no, I just want my bread back. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm paying for what I want. If you don't have what I want, then give me my money back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind paying for that if I know that I can watch any game that I want. You know what I mean? Some games I want to watch over and over again. Like I love that 0-1 series with the 76ers. That's one of my favorite playoffs ever. You know what I mean? I could wish that he got a championship. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's gonna cost you some money because everything now is just been like now with a YouTube TV deal with the NFL. I'm like, if I ever, I'm never moving out of Virginia because I do not want to watch my Commanders off market and paying almost $500. I'm good. If this is confirmation I'm gonna ever live in Richmond forever.
Oh, hold up. You think they'd charge that much money?
Oh yeah, it's like 450 something. I think 450.
Are you serious?
I think because you can get it now between now and like June for like 360 something.
Are you serious?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. YouTube.
Oh, they done lost their mind.
Because they got the Sunday tickets on YouTube TV now.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So if it's that much, then somebody going to have with me.
Well, yeah, because because Direct TV was like that too. So I mean, it's almost the same price. It's just a little bit more higher, but yeah, man, I'm living in Richmond forever because I want to watch my games in market. So no, sir, no Sunday tickets for me.
That's crazy.
I would live in Richmond forever if I had to pay for that for that much. I don't care if I was a millionaire.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And what's funny though? People with NFL, they pay for it.
Oh,
they pay for it. They pay for it with NFL. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
that's why. That's why that's why the NBA is trying to have that tournament early in the season, so it could be somewhat competitive. I feel like it already is. They may not be as competitive as they should be because of the playing game, but they're gonna have to start being more competitive because that playing game, if you pay attention, it's starting to show results.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, man, we'll put a ball on tonight's show. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Under Couch Coach Live, also the podcast available Apple, Spotify. We're there, and I'll catch you guys next week, man. We are out.